Does giving up your glass of restaurant water actually help the drought? Well, our elected officials seem to think so, but the reality is, they're wrong. Hello everyone, my name is Tanaka, a member of the Palo Alto City Council and the Santa Clara Water Commission. And today I want to talk about what California is missing in its long-term plan to address our mega drought. In the past month, California rolled out the second stage of its water shortage contingency to districts across the state. This includes restrictions like limiting water laundering to 2 days a week, as well as requiring restaurants to only serve water on request, and having hotels and motels serve guests with the option of not having towels laundered daily. So I think the landscaping restriction makes a lot of sense because landscaping is actually a big portion of people's water usage. But the water served at restaurant is kind of a odd one because it's a proverbial drop of water in the bucket type thing. It's in the whole scheme of things, it's so little water. The way people think about water, right? They don't talk about gallons of water, it's too small. They actually talk about it in terms of acre feet. So it's basically a foot of water, acre wide. And that's how they think about like water usage, right? When you're talking about a cup of water, right? Saving a cup of water, right? Even if you look at all the restaurants, you can calculate how many restaurants are there in California. And if they only serve water, how much water is that really going to save? We have to do some math there when we make this legislation. Most of the water is actually used in agriculture. California is one of the largest producers of food in the country. So the water usage is actually really important to the economy as well as to the food supply of the country. So it's something that we want to have. If we got to look for conservation, that's where the big knob is, right? That's where we can really have an effect is as agriculture. You can only conserve for so much before you start impacting either our food supply or people's lifestyle significantly. So the thing that we don't look at, that it's really missing in all this, is we're not looking at how do we get more water, right? How do we get a big more supply of water? It's getting warmer and hotter, right? It's the biggest drought since I think 1200 years, right? This is like back when the Mayans were here, right? It's a long, long time ago. So we got to look at things like the fact that when our water reservoir used to be the Sierras, right? When it snowed, the snow would pile up and stay there until it slowly melted away and gave us like water. But now it doesn't do that. Now it's too hot, right? The snow, when it snows, it melts and there's no water reservoir. It just runs away right away. So it means we have to build more reservoirs, more water reservoirs. There's no snow reservoir anymore, right? We got to have better water storage techniques. The second big thing that we got to do is we got to look at things like desalination. This is how like countries like Israel turn a desert into farmland is they use desalination. And one natural way of doing desalination is actually through nuclear power. If you look at how many people die through nuclear power in all of time, it's like less than 100 versus 8 million or maybe 10 million. It's like a huge number of people die through the usage and mining of fossil fuels. I think that's the big problem with the drought that's not being dealt with is that we're looking at small stuff, not big stuff. Now, on a city scale, we can't do too much other than don't have people landscape as much. That's probably something we can do as a city. But as a city, also, we can look to do things like, programs of how to restore water better. And then also, how do we look at desalination? Those are the things that we have to do as a city, right? But what do you guys think is the best way to address our drought? Let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for your support.